Hello, this is the Never Heard of It podcast. I'm Sean Harwell, and I'm joined today by...
Mr. Dr. Craig Moorhead.
Mr. Doctor.
Mr. Doctor.
Man.
Yes, and Never Heard of It is usually the place where you come to find out about the movies that fell into or through our cracks. But we're doing a mini episode today, which means what, Sean?
It means that we're going to talk about just some topical stuff. We're going to talk about some movie news, some stuff that's going to come out, some stuff you've probably already seen before, definitely stuff that you've heard of. And we found I have a couple of quizzes for you too, Craig, this time.
Oh, I'm looking forward to that.
It's always fun. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Things are going really well this week of October.
I enjoy October too, don't you?
I do. Halloween's coming up, and today, being October 26th, I'm super excited because it's almost here.
Well, on that note, let's talk some Halloween-y type stuff. We've mentioned this before, but Craig,
what's up?
It looks like finally the Suspiria Remake is actually happening. Begins shooting this. It might have already started shooting right now. I don't know.
Really?
They might be shooting right this second. Yeah, it's not the one that you're thinking of, probably.
Well, then I'm not as excited. Can we talk about that one?
We can talk about that one that David Gordon Green was supposed to do.
Yeah, so David Gordon Green, who hopefully a lot of you know, and you know his movies because they're very good. He was supposed to direct the remake of Suspiria. He wrote a script with another buddy, Christopher Gebert.
Accomplished sound man.
Very accomplished sound man. And cool dude, I might add.
Sure. Wow.
And that was very exciting to me. He actually sent me that script a long time ago, knowing that I was a fan of Suspiria and kind of asking what I thought about it. And it was really good. And the idea of him making that was very exciting. So I'm excited to learn more about this because I had no idea this was going forward. Sean, please enlighten me.
Well, I was going to say, I don't think you should be completely disappointed, although I do think it's probably not a version that you expected. This appears as if it's directed by a woman named Luca Guadagnino, I think is her name.
That's perfect.
Wait a second, is that a woman?
Not necessarily.
Yeah, I was going to say that could be a man. I may have got that wrong completely. Anyway, whoever this person is, they just recently made the movie A Bigger Splash with Ray Fiennes, Tilda Swinton. I've heard great things about that. Really wanted to see it. She has brought Tilda Swinton, Dakota Johnson, who I think was also in A Bigger Splash, and obviously you know her from 50 Shades of Grey, Craig.
Oh yeah.
And then also Chloe Grace Moretz, because you can't remake a horror movie without having her. I don't know if you knew that or not.
I didn't know that, but I'm happy. That makes me very happy.
Yeah, I like her.
Yeah.
I liked her in the Let the Right One In remake. I thought that was just fine. And so, yeah, I think this is actually happening. The script was written by David Kajanik, who also wrote A Bigger Splash, and he did the Nicole Kidman, Daniel Craig version of Invasion of the Body Snatchers thing.
I liked that.
Okay, I never saw that, but it looked cool. I remember the trailer. I know that name, and he's definitely got some interesting credits as a screenwriter, kind of all over the place.
I don't know about enough about this director's movies to necessarily be excited about the Suspiria remake, but hey, hopefully it's very good.
Okay, I just confirmed it is a man. It is a man, guys.
He's a maker of movies that you have yet to see.
Oh, he also did I Am Love, which that's another Tilda Swinton movie that's supposed to be great that I need to see.
Sure.
Anytime you got Tilda Swinton, which clearly he does, I like your odds of making an interesting movie at the very least. You know?
Absolutely.
So we'll see. I got something kind of cool for you, Craig. Did you know that Scorsese's flick, The Departed, is turning 10 this year, which that seems kind of crazy to me.
It does seem crazy, but that sounds about right.
It is about right. What do you think about this movie? You like this movie?
I like that movie a lot. I saw it in the theater. One of the very few movies I've seen in the theater in the last 10 years.
Yeah.
That was sort of everything I wanted Scorsese movies to be for a while, if that makes any sense.
It does, and I think even since then, I still feel like, man, like that one hits more right notes for me personally than
Yeah.
Like Wolf of Wall Street.
Yeah.
This being the 10th anniversary, that means that, of course, there's a website that wrote the 18 things you don't know about The Departed. And that website would be the wrap. I'm not going to read all of them because most of them are not that interesting. But number 3 here, I was surprised to find out that they called it the dead guy Easter eggs. Scorsese put a subtle X in the frame whenever anyone was killed on screen or foreshadowing. Like I looked it up and like there's somebody on Reddit or Imgur, one of these sites, like cataloged every time he did this in the movie, and a lot of times it's just sort of foreshadowing someone who was going to die. But yeah, I guess it's an homage to the 1932 version of Scarface, which he loves. If you find this article, maybe I'll post a link. There's the still that they use is there's a man falling off the roof of the building, which I think we'll remember, and he passes a window. The window's taped up with an X. Yeah. And so there's a lot of stuff like that. And then there's like he's shooting through what looks to be like some sort of like ventilation grate, and so you get the cross of the steel, with the X's. I don't know. I thought that was kind of cool. I never would pick up that kind of thing, just watching it myself.
I love that.
And so I'm always like, did somebody figure this out, or did like Scorsese himself say this somewhere? And then everybody's like, oh yeah. So anyway, I thought that was kind of cool, and makes me want to go watch that movie again. I love that movie.
Yeah, and Scarface.
Speaking of The Departed, here's my first question for you, my little quiz.
Oh yeah.
So, The Departed, MacGyver, Snatch, Get Shorty, Training Day, Uncle Buck, Rush Hour. What do those all have in common, Craig?
They are beloved family films.
MacGyver's not a film.
I have absolutely no clue.
They are all being rebooted or were rebooted as a current TV show.
Oh, jeez.
Many of which are already on the MacGyver's on the air currently on CBS, I think. Saw a commercial for that. Uncle Buck as well. Rush Hour, Craig, that already came out and already got canceled. It came out in like March through May, or January through May. They pulled the plug on it. So, I think I should ask you again, we haven't done this in a while, is this a sign of peak nostalgia?
Well, is it a sign of peak nostalgia, or is it a sign of are we fully saturated?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was going to say, if a movie that I liked got rebooted as a TV show, came out and got canceled, and I didn't even know about it, it's got to say something about the marketplace.
I think it does. I think, maybe we're sort of, I don't want to say scraping the bottom of the barrel, because any show could be good.
And I think any one of those titles, any one of those specific titles, maybe less Uncle Buck, because I don't have a real affinity for that movie. Get Shorty could be a great TV show. Training Day has,
sure.
I can't remember one of the actors, but I know Bill Paxton is in. I mean, that could work.
Oh.
Yeah. I think Snatch even has some like interesting people attached to it, and who knows what The Departed will look like, but they could work. MacGyver looks like it's telling the story of like a young MacGyver, like he is like a teenager or something like that.
Yeah, I've seen the commercials for that, and not wanting to comment on that, but my feeling is any one of those titles, the next thing I need to know is where's it going to be?
Yeah.
Is it a CBS show or is it a Netflix show? I mean, I do have to admit there is a primal pull to certain show. I mean, like Lethal Weapon.
Yeah.
I feel like I should know better than to expect it to be really good. But there's still like this primal pull when I hear the title. It's like, oh, Lethal Weapon as a show. It's the same thing I felt as a kid. I mean, what was one of the shows they kind of made out of a movie? I don't. Well, really, any of those like Star Wars specials they would do. Which maybe they only did one, but I just remember like, oh, it's on TV. Like this is just gonna be like just like a Star Wars movie, and then you watch it like that was not like a Star Wars movie.
Well, and that's
nothing.
Yeah,
like a Star
that's
Wars
exactly
movie.
what I was gonna say. I was like, no matter how great the Lethal Weapon show may be, and it may be great, you look at it and it just seems to bear no resemblance whatsoever to the movie. But I think in a lot of ways you have to do that. I think that's what you need to do.
Yeah.
I think like Hannibal worked because it was not like Silence of the Lambs, and it was not like Ridley Scott's Hannibal or even Manhunter. It was really doing its own thing, and I think maybe that's the trick with some of these reboots and remakes in the TV format is how you sort of get over that hump of, well, this doesn't look like the movie, you know?
Yeah.
Who are we kidding? It all comes down to the writing and the editing, right, dude?
That's really where the story's told, my man.
All right, one more little teeny tiny quiz for you, and then we'll talk box office, all right?
Oh, please, yeah.
As you may or may not know, we have a list of every movie that we've talked about. If you want to find out what we've been watching, and if you're not caught up, that's totally fine. But go to IMDb. You can find a link to this from our website, I think, or you can just search on IMDb or search on Google. Anyway, Craig, one of the things I was noticing looking at this list was, here's a very handy way to see what these movies are rated by the IMDb users, right? Mm-hmm. So we've done 30 movies now, 31 in fact. What do you think is the lowest rated movie that we've done? And I know I was asking you to remember 30 different movies, but
that's okay.
Yeah, you can be wrong. It's totally fine.
I remember them all.
Yeah.
And I carry them around in my mind at all times. Lowest rated.
Yeah, if you had to guess.
I mean, I guess.
You're probably like, there could be many. There could be a few.
There could be
right?
a lot.
Yeah.
I feel like if there's justice in the world, the lowest rated movie we've ever watched was The Swap.
It's not.
That's amazing to me.
It's close.
Okay.
And they use a scale of 10, but they do use decimal points within that. So it actually, Craig, is Hail Caesar with an overall rating of 3.2 stars. The Anthony Michael Hall movie from 1994, not the Coen Brothers movie again.
Wait a second.
Yep. The Swap came in at a 3.6, and even Samsung came in at a 3.7.
Wow.
So very close. Very close. But now what do you think? What would you guess would be the top rated movie that we've watched?
Oh, man.
It would not have been my pick.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Not The Inside Man.
Definitely not The Inside. Put it in the context of film history.
Right.
I'll say no more.
I will say the very highest rated movie that we have watched, Sean, if you must know, Max Dugan Returns.
Craig?
Yeah.
I think you're going to think it's kind of obvious. Monsieur Verdoux, the Charlie Chaplin flick.
That was my next guess,
Sean.
Oh,
was it? Oh, okay. See, I would have thought... I was going to think Phoenix or Startup, both which fared very well.
Yeah.
Monsieur Verdoux came in with a solid 8.0 on the nose. Those movies were in the 7s. Manhunt, 7.4. Remember, we had a lot of problems with Fritz Lang's Manhunt and the bad accents.
Well, where does Bound fall? I was going to guess that just for like the...
I would have thought as well.
Sort of the populist,
Also a 7.4.
So
tied
close.
with Manhunt. Yeah. So, maybe splitting hairs there a little bit. Overnighters did well in the 7s also. But, I don't know. That was kind of interesting. I wonder if, if people really feel that strongly about that Chaplin movie, or if there's like, it's Chaplin, of course, I'm going to rate it high. Okay, Craig, I think we got to talk box office again.
Let's do it, man.
And, I think I've held you to the fire too many times now. Maybe I should go first.
Please do. Yeah, that would help out a lot.
So this is, we're looking at the weekend of, holy cow, October 28th. It's almost over, guys. Halloween's almost here. I can smell the candy. Who's going to the movies this weekend? What's happening?
That's what you got to figure out, man. That's what you got to know.
So we got Inferno. Mm-hmm. The next in the series of... what do they call that series? Is that just the Da Vinci Code series? Does that have
it's like the Dan Brown... Yeah, I have no idea if there's an over...
Do they call it the Dan Brown series? No.
No, I'm sure they don't.
Robert Langdon. That's the character.
Oh, okay. Sure.
I've still never seen the Da Vinci Code.
Haven't seen one. These things make tons of money.
Tons of money. And it doesn't look like there's much competition this weekend. We got Gimme Danger, the documentary, which I think is about the Stooges from Jim Jarmusch. And then, the big weekend before that, we had, of course, we had Boo, a Madea Halloween. How could we not?
Looking forward to it.
Jack Reacher sequel, obviously. Keeping Up with the Joneses, and then the Ouija board sequel, Origin of Evil. So I know you're a big Ouija board fan, Craig.
Oh man, Ouija is the best.
And I hope you haven't used it to cheat with your predictions this weekend.
Not yet, but I will.
Okay, cool. Well, I'm gonna beat you to it. I'm gonna run down top 5. I got Inferno number 1.
Mm-hmm.
I got Jack Reacher number 2.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna slot Ouija. Is it Ouija or Ouija?
I always pronounced it Ouija.
Me too.
I've heard people say Ouija. I think it's probably just a regional thing.
I think they're probably wrong. It's Ouija. That's coming at number 3. Keeping Up with the Joneses. Scratch that. I'm swapping. Keeping Up with the Joneses, number 3. Boom. Ouija, number 4.
Mm-hmm.
Number 5 will still be that Birth of a Nation.
Wow.
It definitely will not be. It's probably okay. I'm gonna say yep.
I don't know, man.
I'm gonna stick to it. I think people are gonna take a while to get to see that movie, and I'm gonna say Birth of a Nation number 5. I'm gonna hold tight.
Okay. See, that was my big thing with this weekend too. Is as we all know, last weekend, Boo! A Madea Halloween was the number 1 movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
now,
sure was.
And of course it should have been,
it definitely
right? Because
should have been.
It looks fantastic.
Yeah,
so
shouldn't have surprised anybody except for us.
Here's what I have so far. Inferno is number 1, absolutely. Jack Reacher is still number 2. Yep.
Yeah.
This is the weekend before Halloween. I feel like people are going to go see their Ouijas, and I think that is going to be number 3. Okay, so I'm going to put Keeping Up with the Joneses at number 4, and then number 5, it's Girl on a Train and Birth of a Nation again. And I can't decide who that is. I mean,
so you're discrediting No Accountant, No Max Steel. Those are done. Top 5.
I mean, the way I feel right now, yeah, I don't think it's going to be there.
And I mean, look, Tyler Perry is Tyler Perry. You know.
Yeah. I mean that's
you
that's
want a
not
Halloween movie. A Madea Halloween has it in the title.
Man, have you ever watched a Madea movie?
I don't know that I have. Is that right?
I think I saw the very first one.
Yeah.
But I have to say, I didn't want to stop watching. Anyway.
Yeah.
Number 5, I think, is going to be Girl on a Train.
Okay. Very close. Yeah, very close list this week.
Very close. I think the first 2 are no question at all.
Unless Jack Reacher, man. I don't know. I gotta say, I was kind of surprised it got a sequel to begin with.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
But people still like Tom Cruise. I don't care what they say.
Oh, yeah, everyone loves Tom Cruise. Mm-hmm. He delivers every time. Everybody's going to be in the mood for an action movie. You don't have an action movie right now.
Nope.
I feel bad about American Pastoral, I have to say. That's a terrific book. Anyone who hasn't read the book, you should read the book.
Well, you shouldn't feel bad about it because I don't think it's getting a very wide release. Unless I'm crazy.
I hope it does good.
Yeah, I think I'm definitely interested in seeing that Ewan McGregor's directorial debut. Good cast. Lots of good people. Lots of good indies coming out. And we'll try to keep track of those as well. Go check out the website on Monday, Facebook. We'll post the results and see how we did. And you'll get a good laugh out of that, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and then in the meantime, neverheardpodcast.com. That'll take you everywhere you need to go.
That's right. You've just heard Never Heard. Good night.
Good night.